You have trouble with your Achilles tendons walking or playing sports. They're thick, they're painful, they're stiffened. Then you're in the right place because I'll show you 2 exercises that can really help. What you need to know, in my opinion, is that mistakes are often made when stretching, which leads to the problem lingering and becoming truly chronic. Weeks and months are spent battling it. So I'll show you 2 exercises for each side, so join in right away to diminish your pain. For the first exercise, it's best to go to a wall so you can support yourself and don't lose your balance. And then, depending on the condition of your Achilles tendon or your calf, if it pulls there too, you first take a step back and feel how much it stretches. And it might be that you already stay like that. If you notice, well, there needs to be a bit more tension, then pull back a little. Very good. Make absolutely sure the foot points straight forward and use the left knee as a sort of adjustment screw, where you carefully bend and then observe. When it starts to pull directly in the calf muscle or even within the Achilles tendon itself, typically you'll experience a pulling sensation in the calf of the extended leg you are leaning into, yet the Achilles tendon still experiences a significant amount of relief. And then you gradually go in, being very cautious, in such a way that it's just about comfortably bearable. Don't overstretch. If your Achilles tendon is extremely sensitive, then you only go slightly into the stretch. Your body consistently guides and provides direction on how far you ought to go into the stretch. And now focus on the back one, specifically on the right forefoot, meaning the toes and the ball of the foot. And apply a little pressure against the ground, but always tune into yourself to see if then the intensity of the stretch somehow becomes too strong. It must be just at the level where you can still bear it. It should still feel positive. Then you let go of the tension once more and gently ease yourself a little bit further into the stretch. And feel in, especially if the Achilles tendon is very swollen, maybe for you, and causes intense pain, then often just small movements are enough. But don't worry, because if you stay in the area where it still feels good, where it's still a comfortable pain, the body appreciates that and you'll be rewarded right afterward. Then slowly step back again. Always remember to slowly back out. And now see if you can already sense some relief. And then we repeat the same on the other side. You step backward with the left foot. And first take a moment to feel how much do you notice there. And it's really beneficial if you deliberately step back with your foot far enough so that you can already feel a light to a more noticeable tension starting to build up. And from that position, you can begin and gradually move deeper into the stretch. And feel exactly that. Is it still a feel-good pain? Is it still positive? Can I breathe calmly? Because it really shouldn't be so painful that you feel the strong urge to get out, because that would definitely ruin the enjoyment for you. And you simply can't manage to stay in there for long enough, as we approximately need these 2 minutes to truly achieve a good result. Breathe smoothly, always make sure your knee is straight. If you're not sure if it's stretched, step back briefly, give it another thorough stretch, and you'll likely feel it again. Then slowly ease back into position and continue stretching. Always tune in to whether it's still bearable for your body. And now apply some pressure on the balls of your toes as well as on your toes, as if you were preparing to go up on your tiptoes. Just enough to keep everything positive. Then you relax again, loosen up, and move further into the stretch. When you then notice, that the stretch is increasing once more, now it feels truly perfect, then you maintain that position steadily and press again with the ball of your foot firmly against the ground. Hold it there for a brief moment. Then relax and proceed further into the stretch. Make sure your knee stays fully extended the entire time. Then gradually step out, and now pay close attention to both your Achilles tendons and both of your calf muscles. You might also notice a change in your knee, even though you've only done the first exercise. You see, that's also good because it relieves the calf and therefore the Achilles tendon, as it's a connection between the calf muscle and the heel. That's where it's essentially anchored. But there's a second exercise that is almost never done. And the difference is that we're now focusing on stretching not with the leg extended as usual, but specifically with the leg bent. The background information here is that this deep-seated muscle does not actually extend over the knee joint, but rather ends just before it, which implies that it typically doesn't get stretched at all when your leg is straight. And we're going to stretch it specifically now. Then you'll notice right away how the effect is different and much, much more noticeable. Use a chair for support to help stabilize yourself a bit. Step with your right leg slightly back and now bend your right knee, along with the left one a little as well. You are doing great. Try the following. Look down at yourself, and you'll see your thigh. It should be as vertical as possible, with your torso continuing straight upward in a vertical line. And depending on that, feel again how deep you can go. And don't be alarmed, because this stretch usually goes right into the Achilles tendon and into the ankle. That feels completely different, but that's why it's the perfect complement. And then you gently lower yourself little by little with the knee, progressively moving downward and gradually reducing the angle between your shin and the top part of your foot. And then you'll begin to notice the stretch in the lower part of the Achilles tendon, reaching further into the joint of the ankle. And you stand very still and go a little deeper each time. If you notice the right thigh is too strained, it's because you're too far back. Then simply shift a bit forward, transferring some weight onto your left leg. And then you start to notice, I can feel more relief here and I can comfortably go even deeper into the stretch once more. Always tune in, just like the exercise earlier. Is it already too much, or is it still a comfortable pain? Take a deep breath, as it can really help you to relax and release tension. And now make an effort to press downwards against the floor with the ball of your foot, almost as if you were attempting to rise onto tiptoes. But do it only as much as it still feels good. The important thing is to find that line where it is just a pleasant discomfort. Then you achieve the best possible effect. Following that, you relax again and usually attempt to go a little bit further into the stretch. Certainly, apply pressure with the forefoot against the ground and steadily maintain that strength for a bit, because we're actively working on strengthening the muscle as well as stretching it. And that entire process works remarkably well. And relax again, then go a little further down. And pay attention as you come back up now. Move gently and steadily. It's better to shift most of your weight onto the left leg, then bring the right one forward. Move it around slightly. Can you feel any noticeable difference compared to before? Now, let's go through the same steps on the other side. Step backward with your left foot. Ensure that your foot is pointing forward and not outward or to the sides. The back foot must point forward, and now position the thigh vertically, with the torso continuing vertically above the thigh. This way you can nicely take advantage of the force of gravity to trigger the stretch. And here too you can feel the stretch now in the Achilles tendon, in the area of the ankle, so down below. Let's hold on until the muscles and fascia nicely begin to yield. You adjust it just right to ensure that it's still comfortably and bearably tolerable. Breathe deeply in. And then carefully proceed to test here, depending on the present condition of your Achilles tendon. Apply pressure using the forefoot against the ground. Yes. Hold that position for just a brief moment. After that, relax again and go a bit deeper into the right squat. Bend the knee just a little bit more, then you'll start to notice that the stretch in the back area of your Achilles tendon increases. Reach the point where you feel it's still slightly bearable. If you go any further, it would no longer be bearable. You need to emphasize this point. And push against the ground again. and relax once more. And go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Breathe nicely, continuously feel into it to check if it's still manageable for you, and then begin to slowly shift your weight onto the front foot, relieving the back leg. Draw your foot even closer and move it slightly around. Gently place your foot downward and feel deeply into it. You might already notice a significant difference following the first exercise, and even more so after completing the second one. Take a look, I want to show you this. On our knee hero, you have the option to perform both exercises with your leg straight as you see now, or with your knee bent just like now. If you don't have the knee hero yet, you can also place 2 books underneath, which will make the stretch significantly more intense. And now it's important to do this every day, 6 times a week. Save the video and follow along every day, and then you'll notice how you make progress every single day.